Emily here from The Inspired Oil Life. So one of the questions that I get a lot is all about anxiety and anxious feelings. And in fact, when I go out and I talk to people and I teach classes, I would say hands down, one of the biggest concerns people have today is regarding anxiety. Many people have moved to medications to support these massive waves of overwhelm that hit them and that they're unable to handle. And many people tell me that they don't like this medication. They don't like how they feel on it. They don't like what it makes them, just in general, the changes that it brings to their mind, and limiting or diminishing their creativity or their normal thoughts. And they really want to get off and they don't know how, and they need a tool. And so what I want to offer you here are some tools that you guys can use if you're either someone that suffers from anxious feelings, or you have been for a while and you might already be on some meds, and there is no shame in that. Let's be real. We need to take care of our minds and of our bodies. So that is not the purpose of this, but I want to give you some tools that you might keep in your pocket or your purse so that you can use and have on hand when these different moments and times come up. So I was recently in New York City, and one of the things that hit me in talking to a lot of people there is how many people are really experiencing this. And I think that, yes, New York City is busy and there's so much energy there and it's frenetic, but the truth is it's not just in the busy cities. We're inundated with messages and subliminal messaging and advertising and marketing these days. These companies are very, very good at getting into our heads and getting into the heads of our children and our families. And it's hard to know how to handle all of this. So let me give you some tools, okay? I've got like a few. So one of the first things that I really love, and the cool thing is that if you're new to doTERRA or you haven't gotten started yet, Breathe comes in pretty much every single kit. And I love Breathe for being able to, or supporting you in catching a breath. Just catching a breath when you start to feel your chest tighten and things start to close up and your body and your mind just start to feel unable to support calm, even thinking. Grab your bottle of Breathe, take a drop in your hand, and take a deep breath in. It's going to open up your lungs. It's going to open up your sinuses. It's going to bring more oxygen into your body, into your brain, and it's going to help your body take a second to reset. Okay, so I love Breathe for that. Another one, of course, that is just, everybody loves is going to be lavender. Lavender is really high in linalols, and so it has absolutely calming effects on our body and our fight or flight and our parasympathetic nerve system. Like, we just need to calm that down. And even just opening up a bottle of lavender and inhaling it is going to actually work in your neural pathways and help your body. It's going to work in your neural pathways. It's going to send messages to the hormones and the different things happening in your body to help you calm down and slow down. So lavender is a big favorite of mine. Lavender has a sister we call it Serenity. We have a bottle of Serenity, and I love that as well as this. So these are Serenity Veggie Capsules. If you're not familiar with these, they're called the Restful Complex. They are for supporting sleep, but for people that deal with anxious feelings, these are wonderful, like really, really wonderful to take during the day. So you can take 1 or 2, up to 4 of these per day, maybe 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. These work really well. Here's another little tip that I don't think a lot of people know about. My friend Cass over at Herbs Oils taught me this. A little drop or 2 of clary sage in a little spoonful of honey. This is when you're at home and you're feeling frazzled, right? You've just like things are kind of spinning and getting a little bit bigger and bigger. This is very calming. She calls it like a natural, or she calls it a glass of wine, but it's really calming, and you can take a drop or 2 of clary sage, put it in a little bit of honey because it's pretty potent and strong in flavor, and take that in your mouth, and it's going to help you, again, calm down that fight or flight. And a blend that I love and I've posted about before just in my feed is this one. It's rose and patchouli. You can do around like 10 drops of each, or maybe 10 drops rose or 12 drops rose, and maybe a little bit less patchouli if you don't love that. But this combo right here, these two have been studied for their powerhouse abilities of calming that fight or flight system down by even as much as or up to 30%. So that is a huge decrease when we're feeling those massive emotions, right? Okay, a very well-loved oil by people who experience a lot of anxious feelings is going to be peace. Peace is the base note in it is vetiver, which is calming, grounding. It's actually, it is a root. I couldn't think of that word. It's a root that drives deep into the earth. And this, it's got some other oils in here. This is a blend that you're just going to breathe this in, and it's going to bring you some peace and balance. One of my top favorites forever and ever is going to be Balance, the grounding blend. So we've got peace that's really heavy on the vetiver, and it's going to smell a lot more earthy. Balance to me is like walking through a forest of like happy forest, right? Calming from the trees, and we know how they're implanted so deeply into the earth and how supportive they are and how rooted they are. But also just getting out in nature, it can really lift our spirits and make us feel so great. And Balance, the calming blend, I really recommend putting this on the bottoms of your feet every single morning. A couple drops, wake up, have a little bottle on your bedside table, take a couple drops out, rub it onto the bottoms of each feet. You're going to feel your body stay more grounded and settled as you go throughout the day. Two more, okay, for Anchor. This is such a beautiful, this is one of the yoga collection blends, but Anchor is really, its purpose is all about anchoring us into the earth. And so I love this for these feelings of overwhelm as well. Last but not least, couldn't talk about anxious feelings without talking about Copaiba or Copaiba. It is the oil that is just so well loved and beloved for calming anxious feelings. You can take 2 drops under your tongue several times a day. We also have this in veggie caps. I think I left those in on my trip to New York, unfortunately, so they didn't come home with me. But a couple drops of the direct oil right on the top or bottom of your tongue several times a day is going to help calm and soothe you. You guys are going to really love how that works on your physical body as well as your mental one. And then last but not least, one of my real favorites to recommend from the emotional aromatherapy line is Forgive. This is a combination of trees and herbs. It's very, very herbal, but it's the renewing blend, and it's meant to help you forgive yourself. I think a lot of people look at this and think about, oh, I need to forgive my partner or my friend or my child. They've done me wrong, all these things. But no, I actually invite you to use this on yourself, to forgive yourself. We put so much pressure on ourself, and so much of a load and stress, and so much of this stress and anxiety is actually coming from within us because of the unreal expectations we have on ourselves, the tendency to compare ourselves to everyone else's perfect life, right? And without really set boundaries and clarity and even knowledge about, social media and the role this plays in our life, and that everybody's kind of walking around or posting their most beautiful pictures even though they've taken 500 of them, right? That's the reality. So let's stop comparing ourselves to other people's perfectness that isn't real anyway, that doesn't exist. So I want to invite you to pull out your Forgive, put it over your heart, wear it every day. You guys really dive into this one, because I do think that, especially as women, we owe ourselves a lot of forgiveness. We deserve a lot of forgiveness. You deserve forgiveness, and you certainly deserve to not walk through life and experience life with the anxiety and the high emotions that you do every day. So I hope these are good tips, and I'd love to hear from you if you have any other suggestions or experiences with the oils as well. Okay, bye guys.